yeah, let's go. YouTube, what is up? We are back with another day. I recorded a 48-minute video for you guys yesterday, snatching and doing bench press. If you could call what yesterday was snatching, it was a terrible day snatching, and I bitched about it the entire video. So you guys probably didn't miss out on much there, but I had some good rants. And I muted my microphone the whole time. So praying that I don't mute this, but you guys get another deadlift and jump day today again. Unfortunately, we have been recording the same session over and over again. I tried to break the schedule. I really did for you guys, but really messed it up. So maybe YouTube is just sending me a signal from the gods that you guys just want to watch deadlifts and jumps. But today we're going to be deadlifting and jumping. We have the most extra deadlift variation of all time planned today. We got 7 rep max there. We got some cool jumps. Probably all we're going to get to. It's already 8:30. I need to be in bed by 10. And I gotta eat yet. So today we're gonna be covering how I continue to learn in my continuing ed process and why I quit Olympic lifting. Why I quit Olympic lifting was a perfect topic for when I was Olympic lifting and talking about that, but ranted about that yesterday and the video got cut, so we're gonna rant about it again today and hopefully probably clean it up a little bit. My brain wasn't working yesterday, so YouTube did me a favor by muting my video yesterday because I sounded like an idiot the whole time anyways, and I didn't lift a lot of weight, so it was a good thing. But we're gonna lift an average amount of weight in the deadlifts today, and we're gonna jump high and we're gonna get after it, so let's go. All right, so the first jump variation today we got is this lateral. We're gonna go laterally over the hurdle, then we're gonna return for distance. These ones are actually money. I really have been enjoying these lateral into a broad jump. Makes you feel athletic, makes you feel bouncy, and the athletes really getting after these today. We got a Griffin concert coming up next Saturday, so we got the Red Rocks EDM set of them playing. Getting prepared, ready to go. It's a banger, I'm excited. Let's get after it. Ooh, let's go. Bring a cone with me this time. Ooh! Ooh! Let's go. I keep forgetting which way I face. I have CTE, bro. Ooh! One more round. Oh, dang it. Come on. PR on this last one. End on a win. Oh! We're going to count it. We're going to count it as a micro PR. Micro PR. It's huge. It's average. Let's go. From there, we're gonna hit the same kneeling jumps into the vertical jump that we did last week. We're gonna add a little bit of a med ball, get a little weighted jump, take those hands out of it, make you feel like an athlete. Let's get after these. Ooh, let's go. Ooh, let's go. Getting the spins from the Zins. Spins from the Zins. I need a shirt from that. It's a good shirt. Don't steal that. TM, trademarked. Boom! Jumped on a jump mat for the first time in a long time. Vertical's been feeling like it's been going up on all of these hurdles and just dunking on the small rim and doing things like that. Did the jump mat. Jump mat's finally starting to ball out, and I had 0 interest in doing it, so pretty pumped about that. Might have to go hit a real dunk session here soon, see where we're at there. But bunnies have been feeling good. Body's been getting peeled. Pretty pumped about that. The consistency in training's paying off. Weird how that works. Let's go. Oh, that hit. Let's go. Keep going. God, landing in these Olympic lifting shoes is just a terrible idea. Hurts every time. But pulling them feels so good. Oh, easy. I might just have to max this baby out. Just kidding. We're not that beast. I'm going to get a little six-pack abs workout in. A little athletic abs. Do athletic things. Do jumps. Man, jumps like this get your abs fucking cooking, baby. I'm not saying don't do regular abs. I just think a lot of people, especially non-athletes or ex-athletes, they start like wanting that six-pack ab and they stop doing things athletes do. And it's like, man, just do athletic things and your core starts to get pretty shreddy. And you can still add in some of the side. We still do a lot of spinal movements and a lot of core work as well. But man, there's nothing that makes it feel and look like that athletic feel than jumps and sprints like these. Got my core on fire. Let's go. Oh, yeah, that might be a little much of a send. One more jump here. Let's get it. At a softball tournament this past weekend, went 15 for 16. Swing's been feeling dialed. The out that I got was a ridiculous diving catch. It was actually one of my favorite swings of the tournament. I cut it to the left center field gap, and the dude just made a ridiculous dive on it. It was one of my favorite swings of the week. Kind of frustrating there. Could have had another perfect weekend, but that closed stance that I've been working on with Dan and Duncan has been money. So that's pretty pumped. Sacrifices are paying off, man. Let's go. Ooh, let's go. And then we got the most extra deadlift variation of all time, especially coming from somebody that just needs to probably just deadlift normal. 7 rep max here, cambered bar. I used to do these all the time at the dungeon. Haven't done them in a long time. They feel so money. I really like them. They're tough. 7 rep max today. Probably hit a singy after. We'll see how they go. Let's rip. Woo! Let's go. So I cut my head off that last set, but you got to see the bottom of the setup, so we got a little bit of a better camera angle this time. What a rookie mistake. So I was asked a question in the Q&As of why I switched back to doing Olympic lifting. And I think the better question is, why did I quit Olympic lifting in the first place, right? And I think it really had to do with the overpromise of what Olympic lifts were for me, right? And it kind of just ruined training for me. When I was in high school, the big thing was, if you get your Olympic lifts up, you're gonna be a better athlete. Being a better athlete is all I cared about. I really just wanted to be in the NFL. That was my entire dream as a 5-year-old. When I got to high school, our program massively believed in Olympic lifting. We'd clean and jerk 3 times a week. All of our lifts, all of our front squats, back squats, everything was kind of built around getting that Olympic lifting number up, right? And in some sense, it really did make me a better athlete. It made me bigger, faster, stronger, more explosive. It allowed me to dominate at the high school level. I went from like 160 my freshman year of high school to 230 by the time I graduated college. And while I was a fucking meat stick, I was fucking bound up. I was strong, and there really wasn't anybody on the field that was gonna out-strength me, right? This lie, this fable, it kind of worked in high school. It really did. And then I got to college, and that lie was really exposed to me, right? I tell the story all the time, and I don't really love retelling these stories, but I was cleaning. I think I got like 350 up the day before practice, before we were in fall camp. A couple hours before practice, we were in fall camp, and I look to my left, I see this senior who was dad bod. He was like upright rowing 185 and barely getting underneath the bar. And I sat in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna dominate at this level. I'm gonna be a beast. If that is our starting linebacker, who's a great player, and he's only doing 185, I can do 350, I'm a beast. That same practice, that dude laid me out. I was a fullback, he was a linebacker at that time, laid me out, picked me up, said, you got it next time, bud, and it really just exposed, lied to me. And I really got stuck in this thought process of Olympic lifting is a waste of time. Obviously, it doesn't matter, because a guy that doesn't Olympic lift as much as me just laid me out on a football field, right? And that's all that mattered for me, was that football. What I failed to see is none of it matters. None of the training specifically matters for football, right? And I just put all that blame on Olympic lifting specifically, negating all the benefits of Olympic lifting and negating all the benefits of the training that I was currently doing. And it really got me stuck in this nihilistic kind of thought process of training for a while of nothing matters. And instead of just admitting that nothing mattered, I got stuck into a bunch of different rabbit holes, right? And then it was triphasic, it was the only thing that mattered. Then it was conjugate was the only thing that mattered. Then it was DeFranco was the only thing that mattered. Rather than just realizing the only thing that matters to get better at football is to practice football per se. In the N of 1, in the direct correlation of getting better at football, the only thing that matters is working on a skill of football, right? What I couldn't see is that indirect correlation, right? Things that were making me show up to training, things that were making me train hard consistently over a long period of time, so that when I do work on my skill set in football practice, I can be bigger, I can be stronger, I can be faster, right? I can be a freak on the field and use the tools I developed, use the pass rush moves that I developed at a much higher level, right? And I think that's where we run into a lot of trouble with these training methods, is we sell them as the holy grail, right? And in the short term, that works really effectively. In the short term, it worked for me in high school, where I drank the Kool-Aid and I committed to training because I had something to believe in, right? I was sold the Kool-Aid that it would make me a better athlete, and I drank that Kool-Aid. So I showed up to training and I fucking went balls to the walls as hard as possible until I could no longer drink that Kool-Aid, right? But that's the thing that I think we mess up as strength coaches, is we don't have to lie. We can just tell athletes that the thing that matters is showing up consistently to lift, training hard over a long period of time, and then the methods don't necessarily matter. There are better and worse methods, probably better off doing Olympic lifting than training Seedman, right? For sure better off not Olympic lifting, training the conjugate style than you are going like a knees over toe route. But really the thing that matters at the end of the day is showing up to training, doing so consistently, and training really fucking hard when you do show up to training, right? And whatever gets you to that point, whatever gets you to show up into the weight room, the same thing I talked about the biohacking, if it gets you to show up to be a healthy person, then take the supplements, that can be applied in the same way to training. Whatever gets you to show up to training really, really hard over a long period of time, that's all that matters. So that when you work on your skill sets on the field, when you work on catching the ball, you work on pass rushing, you can do so at a much higher level because you are bigger, faster, stronger, more explosive, right? And I really believe if I was just told the truth of that, I would have spent more of my time on football. It would have been a more productive use of my time, and I wouldn't have fallen out of love with the Olympic lifts. And I wouldn't have got so nihilistic with training after going through all of these methods and realizing none of it mattered, right? Training does matter, but the methods do not. What matters is the belief in the method, because that belief is what's going to get you to show up over a long period of time. And I really do believe the more we lie about that belief, eventually that lie is going to get exposed. And when that lie does get exposed, I think it sets back athletes longer than it needs to, rather if we just told them, hey, we're doing Olympic lifts because they're an effective tool to get a stimulus done in the weight room today. And they're kind of fun to do, and then they show you progress, and they're an athletic looking lift in the weight room. I believe now it's kind of on the other end of things where it's like the Olympic lifts are the devil, and non-Olympic lifting is the really smart thing. But it's the same thing for those kids, right? Those non-Olympic lifting kids are gonna reach a level where they realize they've maxed out their hex bar deadlifts and their RSI jumps. They're gonna get dunked on by some dude that doesn't do any of it. It's because they're better at the sport than that athlete, right? So I think we should just be more truthful as strength coaches and not get lost in our own methods, not get lost in our own Kool-Aid, or at least just tell them why we're drinking that Kool-Aid, right? We believe in Olympic lifts because it's an effective way to train. It's a high level of stimulus. We don't believe in Olympic lifts, or we're not gonna do Olympic lifts because this other stuff gives a high level of stimulus that is engaging and makes you show up all the time. And I think athletes are gonna be much more receptive of that. At the end of the day, just get your athletes to show up to the weight room, whatever Kool-Aid you have them drink to get them there, just tell them why they're drinking that Kool-Aid. Tell them why it tastes the way that it tastes, and then you as a coach get them to actually drink it for a long period of time, and you're gonna see great results. As a strength coach, hopefully as a sports performance coach, then you can get them to work on their actual deficiencies. For me, it was pass rushing. For me, it was the skill set, the technical and tactical aspects of football. Maybe for others, it's not. Maybe for others, they have a high level of technical and tactical proficiency, and they do just need to Olympic lift more or hex bar deadlift more, right? But I think the more truthful we are, the more we can see the truth and the actual problems we have with the athletes, rather than getting lost in our own sauce of arguing about Olympic lifts or not, okay? So let's rip this, let's go. Let's go. Probably should start getting heavy here. Let's get it. 7 reps. Woo! God damn. Back's gonna feel those tomorrow. Nice. 315 for 7. See how those feel? That's feeling good. We'll add a little bit of weight. Then we'll start hitting singies before we blow our back out, and we'll keep ripping from there. I really like these. It feels like I'm getting nice and long with the lats. I don't really get that feeling a lot on my deadlifts because I kind of squat them a little bit. So I kind of like that feel, but it's a little tough on the back just because that weight does kind of drift forward. A couple more sets, let's go. All right, 7 rep max here, let's get it. Come on. Ah, there we go. Whoa. All right, last set of 7 there. That was a burner. Hit some singies, call her a day. Nice quick one, let's go. All right, back is torched. Let's hit some singies. Perfect time for them. This one's from McGill, here we go. Ooh, let's go. Easy, more weight for that spine, compress it. Let's go. And unless it's pulled crazy easily, this is probably gonna be our last set because we gotta get Chipotle up before it closes. So let's rip, here we go. Ooh, yeah, let's go. Oh my God, that was a send. Woo, God, RP6
easy there. Breaking that off the ground is fucking hard. As soon as you break it off the ground, the hinge is pretty easy. You just bring those hips through. But breaking that off the ground, a little tough mother trucker. All right, let's say goodbye. Let's go eat some Chipotle. Let's go.
All right, so that today, that was a full send on the back. Felt actually pretty good though. Probably be paying for it a little bit tomorrow when we hit our bodybuilding Wednesdays. Got the question, what's my learning process like? What's my continuing ed process like? And I answered it in the simplest way possible, and I'm gonna stand by this answer. In the world of TikTok, in the TikTok generation, where everybody's consuming their information in micro bites, 15-second bites, 10 seconds clips, just go read a book and you're gonna seem like a genius, right? Having social media is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You can consume so much information so fast, and you can accelerate your learning more than any other ape in the history of apes on this planet, right? I really do not believe it is a negative thing for learning. I think a lot of people shit on social media a lot for that aspect, and it's so silly. We are more educated than ever before. We have more access to information than ever before. But I also do believe the algorithm kind of blends us into thinking exactly the same. There's been so many times in the gym where we are talking about a video we saw, and every single person in the gym saw the same exact video, right? It doesn't really create any talking points. It doesn't create any discussions. We all saw the same video from the same viewpoint and kind of have the same ideas around it because of that video, right? It biases it. And I think in the world of social media and in the world of standing out, especially for your business, if you want to stand out, if you want to be an independent thinker, which is what people buy, which is what people want to be a part of, which is what people are attracted to, it's what good leaders do. They're independent thinkers. They stand apart away from the crowd. And not to be edgy, but because their brain actually works that way, because their brain thinks in different ways, comes up with creative solutions to where when there is a novel problem, you can come up with a novel solution. And I think a lot of times that could be the negative for the TikTok information, for the Instagram information, is when a novel problem is presented, we all kind of had the same solutions, the same information to that problem. And none of us can really independently think or think for ourselves in those kind of settings. And I think reading a book in this generation when nobody's reading a book actually does allow those neural pathways to fire to where you are thinking in a different way. And honestly, I had this epiphany moment when I was in my bed one day. I was scrolling through TikTok. I don't know if I was smoking the ganja or what it was, where I had this like deep internal moment of like, oh fuck, what the fuck are you doing with your life? But I was scrolling through TikTok and I look up and I see a Nietzsche book on the side. And I was like, dude, you're scrolling through TikTok when you have the smartest humans to ever walk this planet all across from you. My bed is lined up right next to a bookshelf, and I have the smartest humans that have ever walked this planet, thoughts and words and mentorships right next to me. And I'm scrolling, watching a TikTok somebody spent 10 minutes making. Some idiot like myself spent 10 minutes making, right? And I'm using my time consuming that information rather than spending my time consuming the smartest people on Earth's information. And I was just like, oh shit, I need to read. So I don't even bring my phone into my bedroom anymore because of that thought process. But I really do believe books and slower, long form information allows your brain to think in a different way than what most humans are currently thinking in right now, where it is very snappy, very reactive, tons of short bits of information, but no real depth there. And again, I don't think necessarily one piece is better than the other. I really do believe we are truly blessed to live in the time of information that we live in nowadays with all the information. I would not want to live it in a world where there's only books to be read. We can't learn from YouTube, we can't learn from TikTok, we can't learn from Google, right? But again, in a world where that's everybody is consuming that information. The way to become an independent thinker, the way to grow yourself as a human on this planet is to consume the information that others are not consuming, especially when it is high quality information from the smartest people on this planet, right? So if you want to seem like a genius, go read a book in the age of TikTok. And that's all I got for you. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll be back tomorrow with a Bodybuilding Wednesday. Keep chopping wood.